Good morning, folks. We're going to go ahead here and start making a bridge in Fusion 360. I wanted to start off and show you what type of bridge we're going to make. I've pulled up our trusty document from Read Structures here. And I'm going to zoom in on it. We're going to be making a version of the Pratt bridge. It's going to be very, very short. To make these videos a little shorter, the process I'm using will work for any type of bridge. It will mirror what you're going to do in the real world as you build it. So hopefully you will find this useful. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. I'm here in Fusion, and the very first thing I always do with Fusion is make sure first that I'm working in the right units. We're going to pretty much be in inches for design for the rest of the semester. So I'm just going to go in here and make sure that I have this correct, and you can see that I've already expanded it out. I have mine set to inches, and if yours is not, you can click this little notebook icon here and select that. While you're there, you might as well hit the set to default button. We're going to be in inches for the rest of this. The next thing I'm going to do is make sure that I've created a project. You can do that here, or you can do it at the end when you go to save it. I usually prefer to start mine at the beginning so that I can go ahead and save the file. Let me go ahead and double click back on this. I created mine as Bridge Project 2025 Fall. You're free to just make yours Bridge Project. That's to help me keep things straight, right? More than you. The next thing I like to do is I like to go ahead and hit save and title this as what it's going to be for us on this one. This is going to be a little example bridge. It's going to be much shorter, so we can go ahead and just title it example bridge. And I may want to throw Pratt on here. You guys can use this data in your reports as one of your prototypes, and you'll see probably why you don't necessarily want to use this bridge as we go. All right, so now that all the kind of paperwork is done, let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to start by creating a sketch. You have 3 planes here. I'm going to choose the right plane. You can kind of tell what it is by this view cube up here, so let me go ahead and click that. Fusion will snap to it. And now I can start with my rectangle tool. Rectangle tool is right up here in the top if you've forgotten. So right here where this object is. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to switch to this version of the rectangle tool. These are really just placement options. I want to start at the center of this thing and I'm just going to plop it down. You'll notice I'm not closing this. I'm keeping all this open. Always leave your little palette open. It will make your life easier. The first thing I'm going to do is go to my dimension tool up here, click this leftmost edge, and make this object 1/8 inch thick. It's not very thick, but that is the thickness of the material you're going to be using, so you might as well model it correctly now. The next thing I'm going to do is make this topmost edge 10 inches, and you'll see that this thing expands out. I can use my little mouse wheel to zoom in and out. And if I push and hold it down, I can move it around and pan around the object, which is really quite useful. Alright, so now that I've got that, I'm not done with this sketch, even though everything is blacked out. I'm going to go ahead and start creating the rest of this. I'm going to go back to my rectangle tool, and you'll notice that my palette is switched to the 2-point rectangle. That's perfect. That's the default. That's what I want this time. I'm going to use my dimensioning tool again. I'm going to click this leftmost edge. And I'm going to click this dot here, and that is going to make it so that I can make this thing 1/16 of an inch thick, not 1/8. The reason I want to do that is the halfway mark for a 1/8 inch piece of material, and I want to center this beam. That way I can use the symmetry built into the origin to help me out here. So now I'm going to go ahead and dimension the whole thing at 1/8, and you can see that it's kind of centered over this right here, which is perfect. And now I'm going to go ahead and give this a length, and I'm going to make it 2 1/4 inches. This bridge is going to be 2.25 inches tall. You're going to need to do something similar with your real bridge. All right, now that I've got that done, I'm still not done with this sketch. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole side at one time, and that's going to make my life way, way easier in the long run, so that's why we're doing this. And you'll see that I'm just kind of modeling what will end up being the same thing, a 1/8 inch beam, but this one's got a cut on the bias down both the top and bottom. That's okay, that's perfect, that's what we want. You'll notice these lines aren't parallel, so I'm going to go over here to my constraints and click the parallel one. You have several that are already up here in the quick access, parallel being one. I just click both of those objects. You'll notice that the little parallel icons jumps up here. And now I can dimension between the two of them and make this thing 1/8 of an inch thick. And you'll see that it looks much more like the other one. It's still blue. That's because I haven't given it any other dimensions. So I'm going to start with this vertex right here in the corner. Let me zoom in so you can see a little better. Where those two lines meet, that is called a vertex. It forms an angle. If I click this vertex here and right here on this corner, and then I pull my icon way up here, you'll notice that it switches to where it's horizontal. That's exactly what I want. Now, I want this triangle to go to the halfway point of this white space here. And I do know that at the center of the origin it's 5. I also know that I stole a 1/16 of an inch when I put this beam in here. So we're going to do some math inside of this little window that popped up. So we're going to say 5, because that's halfway mark, minus the 1/16 we stole, and I can do that in fractions, so 1/16. I can close those parentheses, and if we want the halfway mark of something, we can just divide it by 2, and that's going to give us this. I've got to zoom out because it's going to jump up, and 2.469 is what we come up with. That seems about right to me, so we're going to move on. If it's obviously wrong, fix it. Now we do know that we're making this bridge 2.25 or 2¼ inches tall, so we're going to go ahead and place that there, and it does look like this is at the halfway mark. So it looks right, just eyeballing it. I'm going to switch back to my line tool, and I'm going to come in here from this vertex right here, and I'm going to move it down into the corner where this beam meets there, and you'll see that the baby blue plot popped up, which shows that it is a closed perimeter, which is perfect. Okay, now I'm going to put another line down here using the line tool, and I'm not going to try to make this one parallel. I could get it, but there is a challenge with this particular design. This angle right here is not exactly 90 degrees. It's like 90.27, and if I try to make this line parallel, it's very likely that I'm going to actually make this perpendicular. It's going to snap to that, and that would cause me some trouble later on. If you're having trouble with this one, maybe delete this interior line here and try again. But I'm going to go to my parallel tool. I'm going to click this line and this line, and you'll see that these snapped to parallel, so that I made sure that I can do this. If you get something that looks like it's trying to give you an angle, you have not managed to make these two lines parallel. You need to go back and try again. Okay, but here we go. You can see that I have this right here. They meet right here in the middle, and this middle right here is the actual middle of the of this thing. That way my triangle is nice and symmetrical. It doesn't fail. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use my mirror tool. It's the first time we've used that on this one, and I'm just going to select all the lines I drew, and I'm going to go ahead and turn my origin on here. I can suppress or unsuppress things using this eyeball. I can select the little box for mirror line. I can click here, and you'll see that these items have gotten in on this side, and I can kind of verify that they're good and then hit OK. They're perfect. They've got blue everywhere. And now I can go ahead and do my last little step, which is I'm going to go ahead and make this little rectangle and pull him all the way out here. Again, I'm exaggerating everything. I would do it even if you weren't watching, just to make sure I don't accidentally get the wrong sort of thing. I do have a problem here. What is going on here? I made a mistake earlier. So if you do find that you made a mistake, you can come into Fusion, just double click a dimension, and you can change that. So that should fix that for you. So that is how you fix mistakes. I just fat fingered something. It's very likely you will do that as well. So if you do that, don't panic. Just double click these values and you can change them. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here because we have our side sketch completed. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and extrude out all of these sides. We'll finish the sketch, do all that kind of thing. Okay, but for right now we're going to stop here to save some time.